So a few weeks ago, I had a pretty exciting email from the awesome guys at BENQ. They wanted to send me out their Screenbar e-reading lamp in exchange for a fair and honest review. So most of you guys already know, if you've watched my equipment video, that I already have a BENQ monitor that I use for design. It is, without a doubt, the best monitor I've ever used. So I was already pretty confident in their peripherals. So yes, I was completely willing to give them a review of the Screenbar. So here we go. If you don't know me, my name is Martine and I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. And as you can probably guess, I work long hours at my desk, probably more than is healthy. I have a relatively large desk, but I have no space for my lamp. Hence, it's on the desk behind me. Not only do I not have space on my desk, I also don't have an available power outlet for my lamp. So you want me to review a desk lamp that needs no power outlet or desk space? Well, I'm in. Let's take a look. So the box it comes in is fairly long, and that makes sense because it needs to contain the length of the Screenbar itself. At the back we have some instructions which are pretty handy. And inside we have 3 items: the clip that encases the lamp and sits on the top of your monitor, a USB cable, and of course the Screenbar itself. So straight away, the build and the quality of both the clip and the Screenbar feels solid and really well made. There's a surprisingly weighty heft to the clip itself, but it does feel like once it's in place, it's not really going to go anywhere. So having a look at the Screenbar itself, at the top we have 4 touch buttons and a sensor. And each button is clearly marked on the side. We have one for brightness, for temperature, an auto dimmer, and of course an on and off switch. And at the back we have the slot for the USB cable, and the light itself is basically a row of LEDs on one side and a reflective material on the other. And all the details about which button is which, the specs regarding the clip and the USB cable are all handily printed within the box insert. So here we are at my desk. I will say from the off that my office is generally pretty dark. I have some windows, but they're north facing, so I never get any kind of natural daylight. And my mood generally lowers when I'm sitting in a grey, dimly lit room. So I have a Philips Hue in my current desk lamp that I set to kind of simulate natural daylight, a nice warm orange glow. So I was keen to see if I could replicate that setting within the Screenbar itself. Okay, so let's make a start in putting this all together. I had some trouble. My one and only battle with the lamp came in getting it to click into the clip. I struggled more than what was necessary, I'm sure. So why don't you take a break, leave me to struggle in the background whilst looking into the beautiful face of Django the cat. So it turns out I was trying to fix it in place upside down. It was pretty hard to tell which way was which. All I had to go on was there's a gap at the back of the clip that I knew needed to have the space for the cable to go in. But there was no way for me to know which way was which other than that. Perhaps a little marker somewhere on the Screenbar with a little directional arrow to show which way you need to put it into the holder would have helped. I'm not sure. Or maybe it was just me struggling needlessly. But once it clicked into place, it felt pretty snug and secure within the clip. And then it was just a case of putting it on top of my monitor. And the weight from the back of the clip did feel very, very secure. And then lastly, the USB at the back of the light, and then I ran that to the back of my PC. So the first time I turned on the lamp, I made sure every other light was off in the room. And I must say, when I first turned it on, the amount of light that came from it was impressive. And when fiddling with the settings, I found there were 8 different brightness settings, and the temperature settings ranged all the way from very white lights, 2700K, all the way to a very, very warm 6500K, nice yellow light. And of course, I was also able to increase and decrease the intensity of both the yellow and the white lights to find a setting that worked best. But my favorite setting, however, was the auto dimmer. But it doesn't just dim the lights. The sensor at the top of the light bar that we saw right in the beginning basically reads the ambient light temperature and brightness of the room, and then gives you the best settings when you click on the auto dimmer. So in the 2 days I've been playing around with this light, I've literally just left it on auto and it works really, really well. So now that I've had it and I've used it, what are my final thoughts? Firstly, the build quality is excellent, really robust, really well made, and purely having a desk lamp that doesn't take up space on my desk or need its own power outlets is a massive benefit for me. I love the fact that it has a temperature setting that I can not only get lovely warm simulated daylight, I can also change the intensity. And having used the lamp for a couple of days, I can definitely notice less reflective glare purely from having my desk illuminated. I love the auto button, it's my favorite, but I also love the fact that you can fine-tune your settings by going in manually and having full control of the dimness and the temperature as well. All in all, I love this. I'm already kind of thinking how I survived without it. A new thing comes along and you wonder how you managed before it did. But saying that, let's look into some of the downsides. Now, depending on where you buy your screen bar and the version you get, you're going to be paying roughly $99, which can be a little bit of a intimidating price for a lot of people. And for myself, I mean, I've never spent more than £50 on a lamp, but having used it, I am more than impressed with this little thing. I don't even notice it's there. It's so unobtrusive. It doesn't take up any space. And for someone like me that spends a lot of time at my desk, it's worth it. I think it's important for us to consider our health when spending long periods of time looking at a screen. So it's up to you to weigh these needs against your budget and determine whether it's worth it for you. Obviously, another downside was the struggle I had putting it into the clip, but it may have just been me. So we won't take off too many points for that one. One final interesting thing I did note is when I powered down my PC the first time I tried it, the lamp stayed on. So you do have to manually turn it off if you're not turning the main power off at the wall. Although I'm not sure how long it actually stays on. I didn't actually test that. But it's kind of handy. If you still need a light but you put your PC off, you can still carry on working on a lovely lit desk while the lamp is on and your PC is off. A weird little kind of benefit I found, but obviously you don't want to be wasting electricity, so if you don't need it and you do turn your PC off, just remember to turn it off at the off switch as well. So one last thing, there's a link in the description if you are interested in purchasing the screen bar. BENQ are currently offering 10% off if you buy direct from their website from now until the 30th of November. So if you do fancy picking one up, make sure you click on the link and take advantage of that 10% off. If you have a laptop, they do ones specifically for laptops as well, so that's always a consideration too. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, everyone. This was my first review and it was great doing something a little different. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you have a screen bar already, let me know what you think. If you've used it over a long period of time, I'd love your thoughts on whether it's eased any eye strain or glare or any of those issues. Let me know. It would be great to hear from you. Hope you enjoyed, everyone. That's all I have for you today, and I will see you very soon.